Yeah, so this was going to start off as a review of Vox Machina Episode 1. A couple people in my D&D group were talking about it, so I'm like, well, I'll check it out. But I gave up 6 minutes in. It is garbage, and let me tell you why. It's everything I hate about modern fantasy. It's too gory, too vulgar, and too sexual for my taste. And this is in 6 minutes. This is not stretched out over a season. This is all front-loaded. Uh, it feels more like Family Guy than it. No, it's not like Family Guy. It's because Family Guy has occasionally been pretty funny or pretty clever. Uh, it's more like Brickleberry, if you remember that. That crappy Family Guy knockoff Comedy Central did a few years ago that not even the most baked stoner in the world wanted to watch. So, I'll review what I've got. It starts off with narration by Dollar Store Troy Baker, and then you get a band of classic Lord of the Rings type heroes getting graphically slaughtered because this ain't your dad's fantasy show. This is mature. And of course, by mature, I mean for an audience of edgy 13-year-olds that in my generation would have spent English period haranguing me about how great the latest Slipknot album is. It's the most juvenile fantasy show I've ever seen, and I mean, I've seen like David the Gnome and which is actually a pretty mature show for, kids. But it's seriously, go watch David the Gnome. It's great. Um, Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. It seems to appeal to like the very lowest tastes. Like right after you see these people getting ripped apart. It's like people drinking, boasting, murdering each other in cold blood. And then they only get thrown out of the bar for doing this. There's no town watch coming to throw these people in jail. I'm not saying all fantasy needs to be, for kids. Everything doesn't have to be the '80s Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. I mean, I'm an avowed fan of like Hellsing and Berserk, but you really need to space this stuff out. It cannot be all jammed in together because there's no room to breathe. 6 minutes in, and I've already seen dismemberment, disemboweling, vomit, and titties. All gas and no brakes. You know what that equals? It equals a crash. So yeah, I turned it off at almost exactly 6 minutes in. The show is trash, and anyone involved should be ashamed of their trash. And I'm not going to spend any more time talking about it than I did writing about it, or than I did watching it. You know who you are, you know what you did. Anyway, so on to the main subject. What I'm about to say might make you mad if you're not already mad. I'm prepared for that. But hear me out. I don't like Critical Role. And what's more, I don't like Critical Role fans. Allow me to explain. In the middle of 2020, I, like everybody else, was struggling to find things to do in the middle of this pandemic. Though I'd tried and failed to keep D&D groups together before, I figured I'd try again, this time as a player and not a DM. So I put out a looking for group message. I can't remember if it was on Reddit or Roll20 or what, but long story short, I found a Discord server that did one-shots. I kind of wanted to do one-shots as opposed to a campaign to see if playing tabletop RPGs was something I wanted to do long-term, without signing on to someone's campaign and potentially committing to something I wasn't into. Anyway, I'd been on the server for a couple of days and was starting to feel fairly comfortable with the people there. So I think I asked if anyone could show me an example of how a normal game of D&D went, since I had DM'd before, but never felt confident in it due to having nothing to model it on, and always felt like I wasn't doing things quite right, because I was just kind of doing it on my own. So, someone recommended an episode of Critical Role to me. I asked, what's that? Having heard the title before, but having never had any reason to check it out before. They suggested I look up the second campaign, episode 1. So I did. So, my review of that was, the DM spent like 5 to 10 minutes talking about a table. A goddamn table. I'm not sure if it was an ad for that table or if it was just flexing, but God knows I didn't give a damn about his stupid table. I have no idea why he has such a hard-on for this table. I mean, Maybe the table contains the spirit of James Hetfield. I don't know. I pretty much spaced out during the table talk, which went on forever. And then some interminable length of time later, I think they were introducing characters, which I couldn't keep up with because I was like, oh wait, they're introducing characters, but I was, still spaced out from listening to this stupid table flex. So the next thing I know, it's just some people talking in unintelligible accents for 20 minutes. I can understand many accents. I have friends from all over the world that I've learned to understand, even if I don't initially, I may occasionally have trouble. I like listening to accents. I like linguistics. I like to learn about why things sound like that. But if you're just doing an accent for the sake of an accent, it kind of grates on me. Anyway, back to it. Yeah. So my notes from that time indicate a circus was mentioned but never gone to, and then at about 50 minutes in, I gave up because this was about as fun as getting a kidney stone removed for me. Now, in real time, I was updating the Discord on what I thought, and I wasn't exactly sugarcoating it. I'm pretty sure, my god, how long is he going to talk about this table, were uttered. I didn't handle it the most tactfully, and I'm aware that I'm a bloviating smartass, but, I was griping about it. But I'd have been happy enough to leave well enough alone after I was done venting about it. But then the magic words came. But you only listened to an hour. You didn't even give it a chance. Well, maybe I didn't, but I wasn't enjoying myself, and I gave it what I considered to be a fair shot, and felt like nothing was happening. The mood toward me was immediately changed. The group dynamic changed for the negative. There was a pervasively nasty attitude, like everyone just found out I was guilty of a war crime or something. Eventually, the fanboy rage was at such a point that I didn't feel comfortable on that server there. I talked to the server owner, and I'm like, dude, I don't feel comfortable here now. Everyone just, wants my blood. So, yeah. Being told Critical Role starts to get good in the 4th episode isn't going to help much when the episodes are 4 goddamn hours long. You're seriously telling me, someone that works 40 hours a week, you need to listen to 12 hours of something before it gets good? No, screw you. Screw you. I'm not going to do that. If I don't like the first hour, you've missed your chance. You've lost the battle to win me over. If I don't like the first episode of a TV show, I don't watch that TV show. If I don't like the first 50 pages of a novel, I'm happy to put it down. Why should anything be any different? Spend your time on things you like, and don't worry if other people don't like it. We are so pressed to waste our time on things we don't like. I spent 85 hours on Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I enjoyed maybe a quarter of that. Because I was, trying to like it, and, my gut feeling was like, oh my god, this game is a chore, this is not for me, I don't like this open world. But I powered through it, and it's like, I kind of wish I hadn't wasted all that time. So, yeah, the whole you didn't give it a chance thing isn't really fair. It's a common battle cry of the fanboy or fangirl. That you've decided to dislike something without fully experiencing it. Now, maybe that's fair for, a movie that's an hour and a half to 3 hours tops. But for long-form content, I don't think it's really fair to tell people they need to, watch 12 hours of something to give it a chance. I watched the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm pretty meh towards it. I'm like, did I really need to watch 40 or however many movies to just, walk away? Okay. It's like one day I'm going to expire, and no one is going to eulogize all the time I spent trying to give something I didn't like a chance to please a bunch of people I've never met in person that I will never meet in person. I've tried to do that kind of thing in the past, and you know what? It's a waste of time. Don't do it. Uh, so yeah, Critical Role the show. It's not my cup of tea, but if you enjoy it, that's fine. I don't blame you for it. I don't hate you for it. I don't hate the show or anyone involved with it. I just, not for me. But if you're one of those psycho fans that can't accept someone not loving your favorite thing, no one is required to like everything you like. And if they don't, you shouldn't take it personally. Anyway, that's all. Peace out.